Back, folks. A little worried that I was going to lose the campaign there, but thankfully Oscar saved it. A special thanks to Oscar. You're absolutely awesome, man. And it looks like we are going to try and deal with Jackson's Corps. Of course, just looks like we have one of the Union armies on the way, and certainly not our largest. This is just the 5th Corps. They're probably going to be the first to hit Jackson. That's assuming he doesn't get up and go straight for 3rd right there. So let's see what happens. We'll go ahead and push up to 5 speed. And Jackson's Corps definitely on the move. Go ahead and actually press play here. Nope, pause. I want to make sure that they don't outnumber us too severely. 9,600, and 5th Corps has 18,000 men. We outnumber them by 2. Let's head into the fight. We have to keep in mind, though, that unfortunately, these guys don't exactly have a lot of training. They're pretty poorly trained, period. So we'll see if we can't intercept that army. That would be a 2nd victory if we manage to actually beat the enemy. And as you can see, we're already dealing with slow movement from the lack of training here. I'm also not sure how Nathaniel Banks is going to be in this fight, essentially. Is he going to be a good general, or maybe not so grand? Here we go. Is Jackson trying to get out of here? I don't think so. He's actually staying put. We certainly want to go ahead and attack. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have a battle going on? Aha, Battle of the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. Now, typically, we actually get to play the battles. I'm wondering why we aren't able to jump into this one. Oh, siege combat. All right, so that has not yet been implemented. Again, had I known that we were actually going to siege them, I probably would have backed off. I thought we were going to attack them in the open field. All right, fair enough. So as you can see, Nathaniel Banks, he's having quite a few men disabled. We still have some armies arriving, and maybe we can look elsewhere, like at 1st Corps, McDowell, see if he's ready to continue on and take out the Army of Virginia. Another option is to try and cut off the enemy at Winchester here, and I think that's probably going to be our best option, actually. Unfortunately, look at that. Quite a few men disabled. And I'm guessing that maybe this is just due to where we are. We are still receiving supplies, though, so that's not the issue. Let's take a look at Sumner here. Still got that low readiness, so we're going to be hanging out here for a while. We could try to grab the Army of the Potomac with General George McClellan, everybody's favorite general, as we said before, but they're also having a readiness issue here. So for now, I am just going to go ahead. We'll see if we can change their stance. No, there's not much we can do there. We have to simply focus on the Battle of the Chesapeake and Canal, and pretty much wait for more reinforcements to arrive. Now, we can look elsewhere. Maybe we're just focusing on one area far too much, because there's several other theaters of war. For instance, we even have a small army here in Virginia. We could try to attack the Army of the Peninsula, but I get the feeling this is going to be a pretty large army. 15,000 men, my goodness. Might be time to bring some men from Fort Monroe and add them to that army, but for now we should definitely remain in a defensive stance. Let's take a look at the Western Theater. Hurrah! And that's the Army of the Tennessee under Ulysses S. Grant. I think we could absolutely hit the Confederacy over here at with the 1st Corps. 8,000 men. Grant would wipe them out. At least I hope he would. And again, due to low readiness. So again, we just have to wait for that readiness to increase. For now, there's not much we can do. So what we will do is just increase time. Pause there. 1st Corps is actually moving, as you can see, trying to get away from us. I think they have a pretty good idea of what Grant is going to do here fairly soon. His Excellency, the President. The Battle of Nashville has ended with the Army of Ohio retreating in panic. The enemy reportedly suffered casualties of 18 men. That is weird. That did actually hurt our federal cause, but I'm not sure what occurred. Somehow it just counted as a retreat. Let's pause. Still a few things in this game that I don't understand, but okay. There's the Army of the Ohio. Don Carlos Buell. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. So this was an army that we had not yet focused on. What we should try to do is bring Ulysses S. Grant Army here, but they can't do anything due to low readiness. And I wonder if we could still fight with Don Carlos Buell and make a stand. But I don't think we have any choice in that battle. Besides, we have so many Confederate armies hitting us there. So let's look elsewhere. Morgan's command is another force, but a very small force of about 7,000 men. An Army of East Tennessee certainly outnumbers us. Let's see how the siege is going, and we can't forget we have a second army arriving for that siege, 3rd Corps. Right now, Battle of the Chesapeake, I think it's going in our favor. Still bad on readiness, though. You can see the readiness all the way down there. Deficient. So we're just going to go through the different commands and kind of see what readiness is like currently. Very poor. So let's see if that readiness increases with time. I think that is the ticket here. Yes, it is increasing slowly, as you could see there. But this is going to take some time, and this is why we can't really attack out of state. I guess that could be done, again, just to stop you from doing ridiculous attacks out of state all the time. So let's just continue here. We'll let that battle kind of take its course. Glorious victory at Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, and there we go, guys. A wonderful victory for our men. Our first siege victory as well. So that's certainly going to bode pretty poorly for Jackson's Corps. And again, with this night, I think it'll also give us a chance to ready up the troops a little bit more. And it looks like this guy, Heintzelman, is absolutely ready for an attack. So let's go for the attack on Winchester. Still giving us that low readiness situation. I think his readiness is good, unless I'm reading that wrong. Oh, never mind. It's all the way over here. Yeah, readiness is still an issue, and I think only time really fixes this. Let's do some policy research. Definitely breadbasket research. We want to get as much food going as possible. I'd actually rather they just auto-manage this. I don't want to worry about it too much, but we can come back to this later. Not fully developed to my liking. Let's put it that way. Everybody's buying artillery at this point. Who would have expected that? Alright, let's go ahead to the 50 times once again. Takes more than a couple of days to get these armies ready, but that's part of the campaign. And as you can see there, the readiness is going up, certainly. Just taking a lot longer than we'd like it to. Let's take a look here. John Fremont's army is almost ready to move, although this is a pretty small force. And that's probably why readiness is going a lot faster. Ulysses S. Grant still readying up, but hopefully he's going to be the one to take on 1st Corps here. Of course, they are heading into Ohio. This is not something that I'd like to see at all. Now, the St. Louis force, 86,000 men under Henry Halleck. I don't really want to go for a siege, but I will bring Henry Halleck into Clarksville, hopefully to take this area back. Let's not do a forced march. However, if we could do that by river movement, it might be worth it, I think. Let's try that, guys. So we've got one army on the move, certainly a good sign. See if we got anyone else that we can actually push through. We're into Indian territory over here, attacking the Army of the West if we go for that. 19,000. Nope, we don't have the numbers for that at all. I like that we're taking a look here at the far reaches of the front, though, because this gives us a lot of options. Also look up here in the north to see if we have any armies ready to move. Barron's men are getting ready, but not a lot of men there to begin with. As always, being an armchair general in this campaign is encouraged. Please, if you want to be an armchair general and give us your advice, your suggestions, we are more than willing to listen, to lend an ear. Because we're in this one together, boys. We are in this together against the Confederacy. It looks like everybody's remaining pretty calm right now, and I can see why. No real moves being made, but that readiness is increasing, and I might even want to wait. Once it gets to decent, I might even just wait until it's at perfect readiness before I make a move. Take a look over here and see if that army is also moving. Look at that army moving down the river. I love it. I love it. And hopefully that will be able to repel or repulse any of the Confederates in this area here. In fact, we can even take the Mississippi River Squadron. And you know what? Just to be safe, I'm going to move them over here as well. So that we have some defense. Again, just a casualty of one man at Fayetteville. Not much we could have done about that. We had no readiness to really respond. But that was our Western theater, our westernmost theater battle, I should say. Let's go ahead and pause there because we got the Army of the Ohio moving in here. Conscription introduced in the Confederacy. Now, this is certainly a cause for concern, and readiness is going to be increasing for the Confederates a lot faster now that they've got conscription going. So we absolutely want to be careful with that. Could affect us quite horribly, to be honest with you. And we do have Henry Wallach moving in. I like this. So he's going to probably get behind First Corps, but he could end up in a battle not of his choosing. I like that we got the Mississippi River Squadron just kind of outside Confederate lines. Hopefully we can bombard First Corps. I'm not sure if that's an option. I doubt it. No, so we're just going to stay put right there with the Pittsburgh, and I am hoping this will at least stop the enemy from being able to use that river. And consequently, we can get the Department of the Mississippi to maybe cut off First Corps and just completely destroy it. I think that actually might be the appropriate option in this situation. Also, Don Carlos Buell can regain his strength, poor guy. We could go through the Cumberland Gap, by the way, one of my favorite songs. But again, with 7,000 men, I'm unsure if we can really make much of a difference. Look at that readiness, boys. I believe next turn we will be back in battle for sure. This is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Erasmus Key's ready to move, but we are going to wait a bit. Again, we're going to keep that readiness going until it's absolutely, not necessarily perfect, but at least let's get into yellow before we start charging through the South. And after all, we are being led by Irvin McDowell. Those of you that know McDowell know that he's not a big fan of really doing anything but defending. Now, we will do things a bit different from McDowell, but we are still going to take a few days just to regain those supplies. Mexican intervention escalates. Oh boy. All right, let's not worry about it right now. The last thing we need is to have to fight the Mexicans as well. For them to enter on the side of the Confederacy would be absolutely terrible. Terrible? What the hell is wrong? Terrible, pardon me. My goodness, I even coughed. My own body was in disgrace. All right, let's take a look here, guys. So here we go. We do have another siege going on. Battle of Fort Donelson. Interesting. So while the siege has happened, there's not much we can do. And again, that wasn't necessarily my goal, but I'll take it and kind of see what happens. The Department of the Mississippi, still most of them are moving through. We've got a lot of men here. Oh, it looks like, you know what? It's the enemy that attacked us here. Attacked Sherman's forces. So we absolutely are going to need Henry Halleck to get over here. Man, that is pretty rough. We're going to have to deal with a lot of different attacks here. And you know what? I think now we should probably consider moving these armies. Can really start damaging the South quite a bit.